You've never been the loudest person in the room, but you're always the most aware one. You notice when someone's energy shifts before they say a word. You've held things together that would have broken other people, not because you're special, but because falling apart just wasn't something you could do. You feel everything deeply. You trust almost nobody, and there's this low-level exhaustion underneath everything from always having to be on. You didn't learn any of this. You built it in the dark, out of survival, out of situations a younger version of you should never have had to deal with alone. That's not just emotional damage. That's traumatic intelligence, the rarest form of smart that exists. And here are 8 signs you have it. Sign 1. You walk into a room and you already know something's off. Nobody told you, nothing's obviously wrong, but you feel it. The laugh that came a half second too late, the smile that stopped right below the eyes, the silence that's just a little too heavy. People call this intuition, but it's not magic. Your brain was trained young to pick up on signals most people never even notice, because at some point in your life, missing those signals had real consequences. You learned to read people the way other kids learn to read books, and that skill never left. It follows you into every room, every conversation, every relationship, whether you asked for it or not.
Sign 2. You can tell when someone's not okay before they even know it themselves. Someone starts talking and you already know where it's going. Someone laughs something off and you already see through it. This isn't regular empathy. This is something heavier. This constant, almost draining awareness of how other people are feeling that developed because you once had to track someone's emotional state just to feel safe around them. Research into difficult childhoods shows that people who grew up in unpredictable homes tend to develop this kind of emotional awareness way earlier than most. The hard part? You carry everyone's feelings like they're yours. The other side of it, you see people in ways they've never been seen before. Sign 3. When everything goes wrong, something in you goes very calm. Crisis hits. Everyone around you panics, and you just shift into a different gear. Clear, focused, almost cold in how collected you are. There's actually a name for this: stress inoculation. When chaos was just normal life growing up, high-pressure situations as an adult don't feel like emergencies. They feel familiar. Your nervous system has been there. It remembers what to do. The painful part is that this makes you the person everyone needs when things fall apart, but almost invisible when things are fine. Because calm is actually harder for you than crisis ever was. Sign 4. You can't stop trying to figure out why people do what they do. You replay conversations in your head. You think about someone's behavior days later, trying to make sense of it. You find yourself genuinely wondering what happened to a person, even someone who hurt you, that made them act that way. This didn't come from being naturally curious. It came from needing to understand. When you grew up around someone unpredictable, reading their patterns was the closest thing to safety you could find. That habit never went away, and what started as a survival skill slowly turned into something else, a real, deep understanding of people that most people never develop at all.
Sign 5. You handle things yourself, always. Something breaks, you fix it. Something needs figuring out, you figure it out. You don't look around waiting for someone to step in, because somewhere along the way, you learned that waiting around wasn't really an option. Psychologists call this earned self-reliance, and from the outside it looks impressive. It is, but there's something underneath it, this quiet tiredness that comes from never fully learning that you're allowed to ask for help, that needing someone doesn't make you weak, that you don't have to carry everything alone just because you've always been able to. Sign 6. You feel things at a level other people just don't seem to reach. A song will completely undo you. Something unfair will stay with you for days. One sentence from the right person, or the wrong one, can change your entire mood. Your emotional life isn't dramatic, it's just deep. Years of emotional highs and lows early in life actually changes how your nervous system processes things. You're not too sensitive, you're not too much, you just experience life at a depth that most people honestly never get to. Sign 7. You almost never trust people, but when you do, it's for life. You watch, you wait, you pull back, and people sometimes call you closed off or guarded, like it's some kind of flaw. But that guardedness didn't come from nowhere. It was built by someone who got burned back when they were too young to even see it coming. Here's the part nobody really talks about, though. The people who do get through, they get something rare. Your loyalty doesn't waver. Your love doesn't have an off switch. You don't have many close people in your life, but the ones you do, they know exactly how lucky they are. Sign 8. You don't know how to just rest. You sit still and something feels wrong. The quiet makes you uneasy, like you're waiting for something to happen. You find yourself filling every gap, staying busy, keeping moving, not because you want to, but because stopping feels almost unsafe somehow. That's not a personality thing. That's a nervous system that spent years running on high alert and never fully got the message that it could stand down. Rest isn't something that just happens for you. It's something you have to actively teach yourself, and that alone says a lot about what you've been through.
Here's what I want to leave you with. None of this is something to brag about. The awareness, the resilience, the depth, those things are real, but they came from somewhere painful, and it's worth being honest about that. What the research keeps finding, though, is this. The brain doesn't only get hurt by hard things. It also changes because of them, grows in directions it never would have otherwise. You didn't choose any of this, but you're here. And the question that actually matters now isn't how this intelligence was built, it's what you're going to do with it. If this hits something in you, and if you want to support these kinds of deep dives, hit that subscribe button.